So, what's up with PETA lately? Let's go ahead and find out, because apparently I just found something on the internet the other day that really got my attention. So before we get into that topic, you guys, just wanted to give you guys a little look at my handsome boy, just to show you how much he's grown on me. No pun intended, by the way. Oh yeah, look at that. Those colors on him, the lighting of the camera doesn't do it justice, you guys, but yeah, just a handsome, handsome boy. So just recently, the other day, you guys, I was scrolling on the internet, and I actually came across, I actually went online looking up a few of the, snake online selling businesses, like whether if it's like BHP, Reptimar, or Snakes at Sunset. So, and I actually looked up Snakes at Sunset. However, though, there was an article that I was scrolling down online that showed that was a link made by PETA, apparently, that was saying, apparently, they are suing Snakes at Sunset. So I'm like, well, why would they be suing them about that? So this is the article right here that they were talking about, and this was published back on August 29th of earlier this year. Confining a 5-foot-long ball python to a 3-foot-long tank is like sentencing an NBA player to spend the rest of its life crammed inside a gym locker. But this scenario is the reality for many snakes kept as, in quote, pets by misinformed humans. That's why PETA just filed a new lawsuit to stop online snake sellers like Reptimar and Snakes at Sunset for allegedly lying about the needs of snakes. Now, to me, this is a little bit interesting here, because the fact that they're mentioning about a ball python, but yet in this photograph they're showing it's actually a boa. And I want to actually be a little bit curious about this. My question is that this photo right here that they're showing this boa in this tub, is it, where was this photo taken? Like, is this at Snakes at Sunset, or is this like in a different breeding facility? And going further on down, reading about what the lawsuit's about, apparently PETA is calling out both Reptimar and Snakes at Sunset for allegedly misleading consumers by advertising snakes as easy pets when they require extensive care. Okay, so right off the bat, now there is some truth to that. Some snake species do require more extensive care than other snake species, but it depends on the exact species. For me, for example, you guys know, I keep, all the snakes I own are easy to keep, you guys. Whether it's garter snakes or corn snakes, they're easy beginner pet snakes for kids, and they don't require that much maintenance whatsoever. Yeah, they're really easy to care for. Same thing for ball pythons. Ball pythons are an easy beginner pet snake too. So that's very interesting. But, now if you were going to get, let's say, like, a boa constrictor, for example, a large one, like a red-tailed boa, that's going to require some more maintenance and some more extensive care. Because it is a much larger snake species, more heavy-bodied, and it's going to require a lot bigger enclosure and some bigger meals. So right here, I guess PETA has a little bit of truth on that, but that's only just a small part of this article that I've shared with you guys here. Among other demands for relief, PETA's lawsuit demands that Reptimar and Snakes at Sunset stop promoting snakes as easy pets, along with other misleading marketing language. In their natural habitat, snake mothers are fiercely protective of their eggs, and some species care for their babies for weeks after they hatch and even, quote, babysit other mothers as hatchlings. When bred and sold by the pet industry, snakes are stripped of necessities and often suffer and die in cramped enclosures because sellers misled consumers into thinking caring for snakes is easy. Okay, so the first part right here I want to mention about, you guys, is in their natural habitat, saying that snake mothers are fiercely protective of their eggs and some species care for their babies for weeks after they hatch. There is a little bit of truth to that. Now, there are some snake species that are egg layers. They are protective of their eggs. They will guard them, particularly like pythons, for example. When they lay a clutch of eggs, they literally will wrap their entire body around their clutch of eggs to keep them warm and help maintain the right temperature that incubating them. Once the snake, and says, but then the other part here says some snake species care for their babies for weeks after they hatch. Now, I feel like there's, I don't think that's I don't know. Yeah, this part I do not agree on whatsoever, because protecting their eggs is one thing, but once the eggs hatch, the babies are on their own to fend for themselves once they fully hatch. That's the laws of nature right there. Now, sometimes some baby snakes will still, like, stay around the mother, usually for the first few hours of their life. Some do that, but after a few hours, that's when they start to disperse and move on, because it's the circle of life, and eventually the mom snake, you know, after she's done having her babies, she's going to want to get out there and start eventually looking for her next meal to eat. And then this part right here, it says they even babysit other mothers as hatchlings. Now, that part I do not believe whatsoever. I have never seen anything like that before. Even in the wild or even in nature documentaries, I have never seen that kind of behavior before whatsoever. So that part, definitely can cross that off. Saying that snakes babysit other mothers as hatchlings, that is total BS. Absolute total BS. Now, a few online customers have actually claimed that Snakes at Sunset doesn't care about their animals. PETA just shared a couple of videos some TikTok creators actually shared, one of which I guess showed that they claimed they bought a snake at Sunset and they purchased a hognose, which a hognose is like a very popular colubrids snake to get in the pet trade, and they claimed that the snake died within a week after arrival, and it was claiming that it was due to a genetic neurological condition. I guess that can happen, and then in another video, another person claimed to be also a customer posted a video showing the body of a snake she ordered from Snakes at Sunset, claiming that the snake was sent to her sick and died shortly after arrival. Now, I feel like there's a lot more to that than what PETA is actually trying to say here. I feel like PETA's just trying to hold back some more information on that. However, though, Snakes at Sunset has denied any wrongdoing in both instances. Although it's impossible to know precisely why the snakes died, one thing seems clear: snake sellers are not giving their customers the full truth about the complex needs of the snakes they sell. Let's go ahead and review this article by PETA. Obviously, there is a little truth that PETA actually shared in this article, but there's also some things on here that PETA shared that is not true, and there's also a few things PETA is not exactly fully sharing the full extent of these videos people are sharing. Because I'm going to go ahead and try and go on PETA's website here. I'm going to actually read some reviews here. I was actually just looking up on my phone earlier, you know, at Snakes at Sunset, and looking at some recent reviews, and one of them really stood out to me that Snakes at Sunset responded. So now, Snakes at Sunset's breeding facility averages current rating on Google Maps here. It says they are a 3.9 out of 5, so a 3.9 out of 5 is not really that bad, but it's not the greatest, but I've seen pet stores with lower ratings than that. So, first one right here. I'm not going to mention the reviewer's name on here, but I'm going to read this article she stated. We left our bearded dragon at this shop for some time to take care of him, and he died in their hands. They didn't even call us to let us know he passed away. When we arrived to pick him up, the worker told us he passed away weeks ago, and that they could give us a new one if we preferred, as if it was nothing that our pet passed away. This shop is a disgrace. Do not shop here, in all caps. I will add a picture of our beautiful Crimson. He was energetic and healthy, and they killed him, in all caps. The owner is spreading lies to save themselves. 1. Yes, I had 2 bearded dragons. One was named Suna, and we got it from this disgraceful shop, and he died very young. As you can see in other reviews, they sell sick animals and don't tell you about it. In the photo is Crimson, one they killed. We got him from a breeder in California that doesn't sell sick reptiles like Snakes at Sunset. The calls is a lie. I have screenshots. They had never called us to tell us he was sick. We didn't abandon our Crimson. We were moving houses and we didn't leave him there for 8 months. Liars. Number 4, we called every single week to know how he was, and they never told us that Crimson was sick. 6, we called about payments and they told us we don't have to pay until we pick him up. And they said could leave Crimson there as long as we needed. Now you say we didn't pay. How do you sleep at night as a murderer and a liar? 5, stop telling lies to save yourselves, and on top of killing our pet, you make up lies to keep making money. All caps here. God willing, you go out of business soon. But then Snakes at Sunset, the owner at Snakes at Sunset did respond saying, you did have 2 bearded dragons. You dropped one off for boarding and told us you had 2, but one got sick and died. You said you would pick up in 2 weeks, and you didn't show up for 8 months. Yeah, we called dozens of times, even using different people's phone numbers. We texted, etc., that your dragon was not doing good only a few days into boarding, and we believe it was sick as the one that you claimed died was. We did our best possible to keep it comfortable, and we would thrive for a period, then crash, then thrive, then crash. We even had a vet friend look at it, but he couldn't do much without owner permission. We called out so many times, it's all noted on your boarding sheet. The few times you did pick up, you always said, don't worry about it. You'll pick it up the day or next day, and you never showed up multiple times. It finally passed away after 8 months, and we called you and you still didn't pick up. It seems to us that you left it so we can fix it at our expense, and you are now mad that when you didn't want it back after 8 months, it has passed. And animal boarding is considered abandoned after 30 days if we don't hear from the owner. That is why we asked for 2 phone numbers. This was not 30 days, but literally 60 to 90 days would go by, and when we would get a hold of you and ask to pay the balance due, you would say you would when you come pick it up, and never did. Okay, so yeah, the reviewer did post like some updates on her review, but then Snake at Sunset responded saying that, like, claiming that the owner would come pick up the bearded dragon in 2 weeks, but they didn't show up literally for 8 months. Okay, so that is very bizarre that the owner would claim that she would come pick it up in 2 weeks, but instead they didn't show up for 8 months. That's very bizarre to me. Very, very bizarre. So if you guys want to look at these reviews, they are on Google Maps. I will, you guys can look them up on Snakes at Sunset if you want. So that's just one example right there, you guys, but I'm not going to go into any further details on that. So for this one, yeah, I can't be 100% for sure on PETA on this. Like I said, I feel like they are holding back some information, which they do that a lot in some of their articles. So, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below on this. Do you think that PETA is hiding still some things that they're not telling, or do you think some of this is pretty much 100% accurate and Snakes at Sunset is a terrible place? Let me know in the comments down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you all go, and I will see you guys in the next adventure.